When I first heard about Captain Blood, I couldn't resist checking out the demo on Steam, and I ended up featuring it in a previous Steam Next Fest showcase. The game had everything going for it. The trailer was fantastic, humorous, and everything about it screamed like it was a blend between God of War and also Fable, featuring a story of pirates, combo shops, and more. I kept thinking to myself, why on earth did this game not get greenlit 20 years ago? Because the demo was a joy to play through, that is until I fully picked up the game recently. The more that I played this game, the more I found myself thinking, oh, I get it. I started to understand why this game was put on the shelf. It's because it was not fun and had a lot of poor design choices and elements that make it feel like one of the worst hack and slash experiences compared to the modern day of gaming. If this was still the year 2000, I could see the game being just alright, but nothing really spectacular. Now, I'm not saying that this game needs to be realistic, because it doesn't, but let me ask you a simple question. If you saw a group of flintlock pistol-wielding enemies and musketeers firing at you while never stopping to reload their one-shot weapons while permanently knocking you into an endless stun lock with no way to fight back, then I think you know where we're going with this. There's just an overabundance of problematic gameplay and combat flaws. Even something as simple as picking up a barrel or a crate in and of itself is a challenge, or just trying to shoot a stationary enemy, because there's no way to reliably lock onto targets. You don't have much control, which ends up wasting your time. The vast majority of this game is relying on short melee attacks. Captain Blood originally felt like it had the makings of a great game. It captured the spirit of the classic God of War with a visual style straight out of Fable, but what it completely missed was any sense of balance or gameplay that was fun and engaging. While the story cutscenes are skippable, bosses and naval combat sequences aren't. You'll end up spending so much time watching enemies slowly drift towards you in unskippable scenes. It's drawn out, clunky, and made worse by the constant knockbacks and wildly inconsistent scaling. I don't believe that I selected a high difficulty, but it seems like every single boss and even standard enemies felt the same. Everything felt like a HP sponge. I was so confused that I had to go check up on other players who were playing the game, and I saw the exact same problem. Fights consistently felt dragged out and artificially padded because of the combo system. I remember one boss lasting nearly an hour because of poorly placed checkpoints. You would have to run through the same area again, killing the exact same enemies, and if you did not, you would earn no currency for the combo effects. No currency meant no upgrades. No upgrades meant you would continue to do no damage, which is quite a boring design. You're not going to get any new weapons or gear. Your only path to growing stronger is by unlocking specific combo effects. Without them, every single boss fight plays out the same. Hit twice, dash away, repeat. And with bosses having multiple phases, failing means to start all over again. After putting up with this game's flaws for 5 hours, I finally put the controller down and said out loud, there's a reason this game did not release 20 years ago. It's a shame that it came out now the way that it did, because it wasn't any fun. It's all the clunk that you would expect from an older generation of games, but without any of the redeeming elements to balance it all out. There's no sea adventures, no seafaring, no treasure hunting. It's all the same stage-based linear progression that has you going in for a few moments and then coming out doing the exact same things repetitively over and over again. The demo showcased a lot of promise. You played as different characters, did some cool quick-time event combos, but that was the only time that it ever felt fun. The rest of the game's QTEs are just slow and mindless. After getting my hands on the full experience, I hated this game. Nothing felt rewarding. It was drawn out, needlessly grindy, and all I wanted to do was to enjoy some good old-fashioned hack and slash gameplay. The design of this game was meant to be played meticulously slow. If you rush, you will run into issues with damage output because again, all of your damage comes from your combo effects, not your weapons or gear. If you take your time, you'll find yourself just whacking the same overtuned enemies for quite some time before you even make any progress. Then you have the audio, which did feel unbalanced. At times, the music and sound effects like the ships and gunfire were so loud that the character voices in cutscenes were hard to hear if not completely drowned out. I wouldn't go as far as saying that the audio was terrible like some others might, but it definitely felt undertuned and poorly mixed together in certain sections. Normally when we review games, we break down what they do well, where they struggle, and what they have to offer. But with Captain Blood, I genuinely could not find a single silver lining. The gameplay felt dull and the visuals were rustic, but not in a way that felt nostalgic or unique and fresh. Quick-time events would suddenly appear out of nowhere, often at the worst moments when your guard was down. And if you failed them, you would be sent back to one of the many terrible checkpoints, forcing you to replay entire fights or push through long sequences. There were simply too many issues to ignore. If you're looking for something that captures the engaging, satisfying gameplay of classic PlayStation 2 era titles like God of War, then this isn't the game. The game is needlessly slow, riddled with flaws, and in serious need of reworking on multiple levels before I could ever recommend it to anybody. being bombarded by multiple enemies like I was in the front lines of a multi-layered Civil War firing squad with no way to stop the knockbacks unless I spent the extra time to grind coins from even more frustrating enemies was truly one of the worst parts of the whole experience. Captain Blood ended up wasting a lot of my time, and that's the biggest disappointment of all. The game still feels unpolished, and I would argue that it's worth skipping because realistically, you are not going to be missing out on much.